This video is for drawing 1 of the AutoCAD lessons, and in order to see this as a reference a little bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and use the Insert command, Insert tab, and attach the drawing. If you don't happen to have these, they are posted elsewhere. So I'm going to navigate to that. It's in the Intro to CAD folder on your desktop. AutoCAD drawings, and then we're looking for drawing 1 GIF or GIF. Open this up. I'm gonna go ahead and just specify on the screen where I want here, or I'll just leave it as this. And what these do with this inserting, I got my image here. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave these, and I can pick where I want to place this image. Now, I've got my coordinates down here. You might not have that at this point, so in order to have this turned on, you can come over to the 3 bars, click it, and up at the top, coordinates. Make sure there's a check mark there, it'll pop up. While we're in here, we're going to go ahead and turn on dynamic input. It's this little projector looking button right there. We're going to see that icon. We're going to get to this in a minute. We're going to go ahead and just place it about 11 on the X and make it bigger. The size of this image doesn't really matter. We can use the middle button to pan around and zoom in. So before we get going, dynamic input. If you do not have this grayed out, you're going to have some really wonky things happening to you during this drawing. So by default, it's on. You're going to want to turn it off for it to be grayed out. And then we can start. Okay, so on the Home tab, we have our commands up here. I like using the command line, and if you hit this arrow, you can see all the different commands that we've turned on and off so far. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do absolute coordinates. So it's hard to see my cursor, but we have an absolute coordinate system. AutoCAD is a coordinate system. So we're going to type these in as legitimate coordinates within the field. So I'm going to start my line command by typing in the word line. You don't have to click in the command line. You can simply start typing or click up here. L enter will also get you line. So there's my line, hit enter. Now my first point, I'm going to go ahead and say is 1, 2. 1 on the X, 2 on the Y, and I'm going to hit enter. When I do that, you can see that the starting point was there. Now I'm going to type in my next coordinate, 3, 2, hit enter. And I'm not going to touch my mouse to complete this. Next, I'm going to go 3, 4 and hit enter. And then I want you to notice down here on the line, on the command line, specify the next point, which I'm going to go ahead and type in is 1, 4. But I could also type the letter C and hit close. I know I just moved my mouse to show this, but in this case, I'm going to go ahead and type in 1, 4, hit enter. And now to close it, there's a few things I can do. I can type C, hit enter, or I can right click on my mouse and hit close. And that creates the rectangle there. The next type of rectangle we're going to work on is the relative coordinates rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and start my line command. My first point is 4.5, 2. I'm going to hit enter. And now you'll see the difference between the relative and the absolute is that the relative has a coordinate or has an @ symbol in front of it. That @ symbol tells me to draw a line relative to my previous point. So in order to do this, I'm going to work counterclockwise from 4.5, 2 around this direction. So I'm going to go @ symbol, that's shift 2. So @ 2, 0, 2 on the X, 0 on the Y. I'll next go @ 0, 2, which is 0 on the X and 2 on the Y, making a vertical line. I'm going to go @ -2, 0. Type it incorrectly there. And what this is going to do is, because this is a coordinate system with the origin being 0, 0, I'm going to go 2 back on the x-axis and 0 on the y. Finally, I can type C to close it and hit enter. and that confirms it. Our next style that we're going to work on is a polar coordinate. AutoCAD has polar coordinates, and what that means is we type based on angle. So to show this, we can click through coordinates here with our line command being on. Notice it turns off, click again, it's back on, click again, off, on. So I haven't started the line. In order to specify the first point, I'm going to go ahead and say 8, 2. Now you'll see that my coordinates are showing a length and then an angle. AutoCAD calculates angle is this direction from the point being 0, 90, 180, 270, and 360, or back to 0. And what this allows is for us to always draw the correct angle from the point that we are drawing it from. So sometimes you'll need to calculate some stuff. So we're going to go at 1 angle 45. So this is going to draw a 45-degree angle. Now I need to go back this direction, and we can see that based on the angle, that is technically angle 135, even though the inside angle from here to the line is 90 degrees. So I'm going to go at 1 angle, which is, excuse me, sorry, I missed this part. Shift, comma is our angle symbol. Shift, comma is our angle symbol. At angle 135, enter. Our next is going to be at 1 angle 225, and hit enter. And then again, I can close the command. So C to close the loop, enter. So I've got rectangle with absolute, rectangle with relative, rectangle with polar. You'll see that we also have a radius circle, a circle with a radius of 0.75 at 7,6 for our thing. So we're going to do circle. I can also type in C and hit enter. My center point is going to be 7,6 and hit enter. And then the radius of that is 0.75 and I'll hit enter. That gives me my circle. Now, just because we're typing in a bunch of stuff doesn't mean we couldn't actually draw. We could find 7,6, or if we just need to place a circle somewhere, we can place that wherever we want by clicking up there and clicking anywhere we need to within the space. We're also, I'm going to hit escape to get out of command. We're also going to do this arc. So this arc in the center there, or in the middle of that rectangle, excuse me, we are going to do a certain type of arc. If I click the arc button, there are many arcs to pick from. Now, the thing about arcs is that AutoCAD draws arcs counterclockwise by default. So if I want this to be my center point, I need to go center, start, end. That's going to be the easiest. There's many other ways to do this, but this is by far the simplest way I have found to do it. You could also do start, center, end as well, but I like center, start, end. So I'm going to do center, specify the center point of the arc. Notice I can't select anything there. I may not be perfect. If I turn on object snap right here, make that blue, as I go to the corner, you're going to see it snap. I could also turn object snap on and off by using the F3 key at the top of my keyboard many times. So I'm going to click to specify the center point, click the start point of the arc, click the end point of the arc. Hit enter. That gives us the drawing. What I like to do at the end is draw a rectangle around all of this, knowing what we know how to do. So I'm going to do line. My first point's 0, 0. I'm going to go at, I like relative for this, at 10, 0, at 0, 7, at negative 10, 0, and enter. and then C to close. That completes drawing 1.